Ashley, and this is Agent Renovation. At Agent Renovation, we help new agents and existing agents get better strategies and processes put together to help their game move through the levels quicker. I want to see you win at your real estate game, and for that reason, we are sharing everything we know. We know how hard it is when you're a new agent, and that's not how the system should work, so let's be part of the change. In today's video, I want to go over some realtor basics. These are absolute basics, and they're important to know. Sometimes when we start real estate, we're able to find all sorts of complex subjects online, but to find out the real basics can be difficult. There's not a lot of people talking about how to start up with your inventory. So in today's video, I want to go over what should you have in your inventory as far as open house and listing signage when you're a new agent. What do you need, and what do you only need to start your game? In the beginning of real estate, your resources are king. You probably don't have a lot of it. In real estate, your resources are your time, your energy, and your money. Your money is only one of your resources. And you want to manage all of your resources well in the beginning, because to win the game, you got to stay in the game. So you don't want to outspend yourself at the very beginning. So I recommend you get what you need and nothing more. I'm not one of those agents that pushes like you need all these bells and whistles, because you don't. You can be uber successful in your real estate without overdoing it and spending a lot. So I want to show you what open house signs you need to have in your arsenal and how many you should have. When you're a brand new agent, first you're going to need open house signs. So open house signs, we have a couple of videos, you can click here to watch those, but open house signs should always be large. You want to have at least 8 to 10 of these open house signs. I know that seems like a lot, and it is going to cost you. The larger the sign, the more they cost. And I know I just said that you should be saving money. However, when you look at the cost-benefit analysis of how much you can make off your open house signs, this is a really good spend when you're starting. When you're starting, you want to spend into this. This will pay you back. Make sure you have enough so that when you do get an open house and a new listing in your farming zone, you know you're going to extract more listings, because you're going to get so much advertisement and so much leverage off of it. The next sign that's going to be really important in your arsenal is what's called a listing sign. This is called a hanging sign, and this is for detached homes. When you get a house to sell, you will hang one of these. This is your for sale sign for houses. When it comes to for sale signs for attached, meaning condos and townhomes or row housing, often the signage that is allowed is this. This can sometimes be called a condo board or a condo hanging sign. You're gonna wanna have both of these. So you've got your sign for your attached, townhouses and condos, and you've got your sign for houses, your detached. Now, how many should you have? Again, I know I tell you not to spend a lot of money. Signs are worth spending your money. So when it comes to house signs, have at least 3 or 4 of these. If you farm correctly and you follow our Conquer plan to take over your farming zone, you will need 4 of these, I promise you. It'll happen faster than you think. For that reason, you always want to have a couple on hand. The last thing that you want to have, this is a big no-no. You don't want the situation to occur where all of a sudden you get a listing, somebody says yes to you, you finally get the coveted yes, and you don't have a sign to hang at their home. How embarrassing would that be? Secondly, I want you to order enough signs because you expect to get those listings. You're programming yourself and your career to say, hey, I know listings are coming, so I need to have signs ready. If you don't have any signs ready and you've got no signs in inventory, it somewhat is telling the universe in a way that you don't think you're going to get any listings. So that's not a good message to be sending out. So next up, for your condo signs, you want to have a few of these, but not as many, because if you follow the Agent Renovation plan, you're not really going to be getting condo listings. You may be getting condo listings because those are families you're meeting that want to upsize into detached. However, you know my model. My model is detached houses. If you're going to go to work and you're going to work your butt off, which you will for your clients, you want to do it for the bigger paychecks. Why would you go and spend equal amount of time, energy, and money servicing a listing that'll pay you half or 1/4 of what you could earn from a detached house? For that reason, I really avoid condos. The second reason I avoid condos is strata documents. Strata documents are hundreds of pages, they're complex, and although it is not actually your job to be liable for what's in them, wouldn't you feel bad if a family bought something and there was something missed in those documents? Condos are much more complex than homes, and if you want to make your career easy, I personally would recommend only sticking to detached homes. So for that reason, I only recommend having 2 to 3 of these in your arsenal at the start. In your inventory, you don't need very many of these because you don't want to attract these listings. Instead, you are trying to attract detached homes. So make sure you have lots of these ready. You might be wondering where these hang. So the reason that these signs are used in condos, townhomes, and row housing, sometimes even duplex complexes, is because these go at the start of the complex. These do not go in front of the individual home. They will go at the front of the complex on a hanging sign that normally has multiples for anything for sale in that complex. So for that reason, they're smaller. My next no-no is I want to tell you about something that you should never do, and you're gonna see it right here, an example. Don't ever do this. I didn't do this, one of my team members did. Don't ever put a sticker on your sign. Number one, you're gonna ruin your signs. Number two, it's just tacky, like don't do that. It's ugly. Instead, invest in a topper that would go underneath that would say sold, and take the time to go there and hang it properly. How you do one thing in life is how you do everything, and people will judge you on everything you do. Something like putting a sticker on here is something someone will judge you for. If you did this to your sign, how would you treat their home? Also, not only is there a sticker, but it's not even straight on there. You know, we're in a marketing business where we represent homes as well, and the things we do and how we present anything in our business is how we're gonna present the homeowner's home. And they will see this, and even if they don't know they're thinking it, they will look at this and think it's sloppy. So we just went over what not to do with your condo sign when your property sells. I wanna show you what to do. This is a topper. These you're gonna wanna have on hand. If you haven't seen our video, we've got an entire video all about toppers. I know it's a realtor basic and people need to know this information. So we made a video. Your sold topper will go underneath. And how you're gonna attach these is you should always have a punch hole in your office and in your vehicle if you're wise, as well as zap straps. Zap straps are your best friend as an agent. Zap straps are reliable. Not only will you be using them to attach your toppers, you will also sometimes use them on the side of your signs. When you have a detached house for sale, when the sign is actually hanging on the home, you want to drive by the home once it's installed and see how it looks. Reason being, a lot of times companies will hang it from the top, which is great, but if you live in a windy city and it's like this, you also want to attach it on the side to your post. Zap straps will be your best friend. In your vehicle as an agent, you should always have a little box that has zap straps, tape, scissors, anything else you might need for your open house. The reason you need tape is really important when it comes to condos, as you're gonna be taping MLS sheets to the front doors, and sometimes people forget about that. The next sign that you're gonna wanna always have is an open house sign. Don't mind these guys, these are actually all our old signs. We're not even a Century 21 anymore. These are just simply being used as examples right now as we pack our office. So open house signs for your vehicle. This is called a car topper. This is a basic in real estate, and you wanna have like several of these. So this is kind of a smaller one, I would say, but it depends on the size of your vehicle. When I used to drive a car, this was a great size. Now that I drive a G-Wagon, I would probably want a bigger one. When you host an open house, try to park right outside of the home or as close to as possible so you can have these on your vehicle. So this will actually just go right on top of your vehicle. It's a magnet. Do not ever put stickers on your vehicle. Everything you put on your vehicle, whether it's a nice vehicle or not, and what nice means is totally up to your range and your head, but you don't ever want to be putting stickers in your vehicle. Make sure everything is always a magnet so it doesn't hurt your vehicle. Next, I'm going to show you two examples which I think are hard no's. You should never be using these. Don't buy these. I recommend against these. They're not wise investments and they do cause injury. So number one is this type of sign. I've actually already thrown out the frame because I don't do them, and whenever my teammates buy them, I throw them in the garbage. So this sign essentially sits in a metal frame like this that would go around it, and it would go in the front yard. This is tacky. This is made of like type of composite that is literally like, let's just do this together, like gross. Not appropriate. This is not a long-lasting sign. This looks cheap. If you want your clients to think you're cheap, this is a great sign. So I would skip these signs altogether. The metal frames are also very dangerous, and they're just floppy when they're in the ground. So this is a loser. The next one that's an absolute loser in real estate is the yard open house signs. I see so many agents buy tons of these because they're cheap. They're normally like $20, and they come on these pieces of metal, which essentially is the same again. A composite that you're just gonna put on here, and the chance of injury is very high with these. I have broken heels, I have broken nails, and how a person would do this is, number one, you gotta do this, get it on there, which you can already see is dangerous, and then when you're in the ground, you actually have to step on it. See how it's got like a dent in it? That's just stepping on it. This is not wise, and I hope you're dressing well for your open, so if you dress like I dress, I don't think our shoes deserve to be going on this. I would recommend against these. Also, if you drive a vehicle, a nice vehicle in real estate, which many of us do because honestly, vehicles matter in real estate, and people will tell you they don't, but they do. These are really sharp, and you will damage your vehicle. Whereas these signs have more of a finished edge, and you won't damage your vehicle. You also won't cut yourself on them the same way that you could here. You're not going to damage any part of your outfit, vehicle, or yourself operating with this type of signage. On this hand, it's just an accident waiting to happen, and heaven forbid you fall with these in your hand. Ugh, I don't like these ones. You don't know this when you first get into real estate, but as an agent, you're often rushing, and you're often rushing in and out of the vehicle in heavy traffic or crossing streets with traffic. That's why choosing correct signage is really important. It actually is a safety issue, and you want to be safe on the job. It's no fun when you injure yourself. Let me tell you, I have fallen several times in real estate, quite badly. And the worst time I actually ever did fall was with my open house signs getting out of the vehicle. And when I opened my truck and took my signs, I just fell back. And that's because I was operating with signs that had pieces hanging out from all angles, and I was trying to juggle them. And I learned that day that that was never gonna happen again. And I had to keep my car very organized with my signage neatly to help me with safety. And that's when we transitioned to these. The last tip I have about open house signs for these ones is it's really important here that you always fold your signs. So folding your signs may seem silly, but you always fold your signs before they go in the vehicle and as you're walking with them, because often you'll be carrying things. What happens is these boards are actually made with a sticker, and if you come close, I want to show you what happens. Do you see all these scratches on them? These are old signs, but see how the sticker is actually coming off? This is because somebody wasn't folding this sign. If you don't fold these signs and you keep piling them in your car, all the different edges will start scratching up your stickers. And you know, depending on where you live, these could be $100, they could be $300. You don't really want to pile through your signs. So if you want to preserve them, flipping them is the easiest way. And with all your signage, you should be keeping it with your sign company. I've got a few more pro tips about signage for you. So number one, always wash your signage. Before you hang any signage at a home, wipe it down. It's very simple, and most agents never do this. I would also recommend doing this with the signage poles that sit outside the home that hold the sign. You want to also give that a wipe. If it doesn't look clean, make it look clean. You're gonna order 8 to 10 of these, depending what budget you have, and you're gonna order the largest one that your city allows. The bigger, the better. Sometimes cities have bylaws, so make sure you check to get the biggest one you're allowed and get a lot of them. They are gonna make you money. Next, you're gonna have 2 to 3 of these on hand and hopefully not use them because you're focused on detached listings. At that point, you're gonna have 4 of these to start. 4 detached listings in the beginning of your career is ideal. If you can score 4 right away, which I know you can with my door knocking plan, I want you to have these on hand so when you get those yeses, you can hang them. From there, every time you sell a house, try to purchase 1 more sign. Start building onto your inventory. That way, you should end up with like somewhere between 15 and 20 signs at any point. Once you're an established agent and you're moving a significant amount of homes, a good number of signs to keep on hand of these would be at least 18 to 20. You'd be surprised in slower markets how long your listings can last and how many of these you could go through, especially if you're door knocking as much as our plan tells you to. And lastly, you're gonna have 1 to 2 car toppers, and then you're also gonna keep an inventory of all of your toppers. You should have 2 to 4 of each topper, and if you haven't seen our topper video, click here. It'll go through all the toppers you need to have on hand to be a successful agent. This has been Ashley from Agent Renovation, and I hope you enjoyed this video just about the basics of what to buy and what you need when you're starting real estate as far as signage. I love teaching agents, and I want to see agents win. As always, if you like this content, hit the like button, the subscribe button, or leave me a comment. Can I answer any questions for you? Bye!